I'm Rex Rogosh, and let's queer up faith. Ohio pastor who opposed LGBTQ plus visibility in schools pleads guilty to child sex offense. Silas H. Shelton, an anti-LGBTQ pastor in Wilmington, Ohio, admitted to 3 third-degree felony counts of unlawful sexual conduct with a minor. The charges stem from abuse that began in 2019 and involved a teenage girl from his congregation at Blanchester Community Church. Authorities say the abuse continued for several years, ending shortly before his arrest in October 2025. Shelton entered the plea on April 20th, just before his scheduled 5-day trial. Under the agreement, he faces a prison sentence ranging from 3 to 15 years and must register as a Tier 2 sex offender for 25 years. Prosecutors stated Shelton used his role as a pastor to groom and manipulate the victim, with incidents occurring across multiple locations. Other serious charges, including rape and sexual battery, were dismissed as part of the plea deal. Before his arrest, Shelton had been active in local school board meetings opposing queer representation in education. He criticized pride flags and called for removal of books like Heartstopper, expressing concern after his daughters encountered the title at a school book fair. Authorities described a pattern of exploitation linked to Shelton's position of the trust with the church and his access to victims through the community connections. Okay. One, this man has a daughter. So, unfortunately,
I hope that he is not anywhere near her.
So, well, exactly. And, you know, where there's smoke, there's fire. He's done this once. How many times has he done that? I also, I pulled up some stuff. So we all know how much I love religion and organized religion, but I would love to quote their own stuff back to them because, you know, I don't know. You talk about it every day, but you don't practice it. And some of the things that the Bible actually says about sex is kind of interesting. It's for creation and purpose. God created sex as good and blessings and a way to form an irrespectable one-flesh union. It is for pleasure. Proverbs 5:18-19. I am reading straight from the Bible, people. And procreation. Genesis 1:28. Where was having sex with a minor part of any of that? I don't know. Sexual immorality. The Bible forbids sex outside of marriage. Premarital sex, adultery, prostitution, and incest. Sexual immorality is described as sinning against one's own body. 1 Corinthians 6:18. So you're married, you have a child, but you're having sex outside of the marriage. So you're sinning. So you're standing at a pulpit every day, preaching to all these people. It looks like you're baptizing people in a beer tub at your church there. Please explain to me what was the impetus of you doing this?
And I just want to say 2 very obvious things. Not a drag queen, not a trans person.
Correct.
Once again, we are looking at a white evangelical pastor.
Not a gay man.
Not a gay man going around doing inappropriate things to children, and somehow we are the ones that get scapegoated all the goddamn time. I mean, we are talking about, I mean, every time this kind of thing comes out, it is always despicable acts created from a person of authority, in this case, pastors or priests or teachers. You know, these people should not be near children. These people should not be near children, and the more fervent they are quoting the Bible, nothing wrong with the Bible per se, but the more fervent they quote about it, the more loudly they protest against LGBTQ rights, they tend to be the ones who are the monsters.
Right, isn't that always the funny thing, is all the people telling us how we shouldn't have any queer stuff in the schools are the ones touching the kids.
Yes.
Like, why is that always the case,
well,
people?
And also, if you listen to what I just said, if you're having sex within marriage, it's legal. That didn't say man or woman. Mm-hmm. And actually, there is Catholic doctrine out there, because I actually did a thesis on this, that says that the Catholic Church will recognize any marriage which is legal by government. That is their own words. So you can skew what you want out of the Bible, but if you're going to sit there and preach and then get off the pulpit and go to your back room and do everything that you against what you just did. Like that, to me, I don't understand how anybody out there in the world can sit there and listen to somebody and believe in what they're saying and then see. I guarantee that everybody in that community is going to be, oh, he was such a great man and he was this and he was that and blah, 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 blah. The guy was lying to you, but yet you're sitting there blindly following him.
Well, there's a thing about indoctrination as well as, there are a lot of things that people can look at, staring at them right at the face, and they will still deny. I mean, the current political climate and a certain set of files. I mean, we're there. Yeah. There are still people who do not believe the fact that the file is real.
And I look at licensed professions, working in HR for over 25 years. I know that churches probably do not have an HR department, but one wonders if someone's going to have contact with sensitive populations. I would get criticism for this, but maybe some people who have especially interaction with children or people who are sensitive or vulnerable in those types of positions, maybe they should consider requiring some type of screening and background check at least.
Well, and there should be supervision.
Yes.
There, you're at a school.
Yes.
Your children typically aren't left with an adult unsupervised.
Exactly.
I don't know if it's still the case, but when I went to school, principals sent home paperwork saying, will you allow us to corporal punish your child when it was still around?
Wow.
And if so, do you want to be present?
So first off, you look way too young to have had that paperwork.
I had that paperwork. I had that paperwork. And so there's that. So where were I don't want to blame the parents because it's not the parents' fault, but you're blindly leaving faith in people that you don't really know.
Well, this is the big thing when it comes to the concept of pastors and the self-righteous evangelical crew. And I think this is a very opinionated loudmouth. Don't trust opinionated loudmouth people. Don't listen to them. Go make your own decisions in life. Don't listen to these guys. Don't let them near your kids. God.
And it is both a blessing and a curse. But in the United States, you don't need any training to become a pastor. You can just say, I am a pastor. My trailer is my church, and congregation can meet there. And you instantly, once you establish that and register at the IRS, you're instantly a nonprofit. You are instantly tax exempt, and as long as it's there are just no way for our government, because of First Amendment and the freedom of establishment of religion, that we can try to impose some kind of regulation on them.
Yeah, but we have freedoms of a lot of things until it doesn't suit the people that it's freedom for.
So regulations you're seeing right now,
correct.
Man is going
we
to
have freedom. We have freedom of speech until it's not. We have freedom of press until it's not. We have freedom of religion until it's not. So I do agree with you. Yes. A lot of organized religions, I do have friends who are pastors and they do go through schooling and they do have certifications through the church, but it's not, government regulated. I get that. I just have a problem with people standing up at a lectern, saying these words and then getting off the lectern and getting off.
Yes. Well, the hypocrisy continues. More on that soon, I'm sure. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by sharing them and subscribing to Queer News Tonight.